deck is doing some kind of sweet things. We got modern busted staple Faithless Looting alongside cards we want in our bin like Arclight Phoenix. Things like Insult to Injury. We played this deck once before on stream and it felt really sweet. Holy gosh, that Shrine of Burning Rage is awesome. I haven't seen that one before. That's great. That's A+. That's just too much effort, Demi-Eyes, to like remember to do another thing. A lot of the times when I'm doing social media, we're like doing it in between other things. It's just too many things going on. The repeater deck, I quit when we were 1-1 because it just like wasn't very interesting. The deck was kind of dry to play and didn't feel particularly powerful. It's a pretty easy mulligan here, no second land. This hand's really bad too, huh? It just like doesn't do anything. This hand has a plan at least. It does stuff. I'm gonna choose to not play Spike on one because Spike post Steamkin adds a counter to it, which is valuable to us. There's two reasons people get timed out on this channel. One is they don't follow the channel rules. We have very strict channel rules compared to a lot of other TCG and Magic channels that exist here on Twitch. I require people to be very constructive and specific if they want to give feedback in chat, and we regularly time people out for not doing so. And the second is that people ask for timeouts because it's a fun meme here on this channel. I definitely want Angers and Abrades, Risk Factors and Easy Cut. What's the other trim here? Probably Tormenting Voice. Probably Tormenting Voice, a little bit slow. You can find the deck list via the Stream Decker widget on your screen if you're on mobile or another platform that doesn't have access to that. You can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. Ooh, that's a little rough. Someone said they can't believe this deck has 5-0s. One, I think this deck is doing something that's objectively very powerful. It's got a good, cohesive, linear game plan. And it gets to lean into a card like Faithless Looting to have good selection to give it some consistency. And two, getting a 5-0 doesn't make a deck good for the flip side of that. One of the reasons Wizards of the Coast hides a significant amount of Magic Online data is because by hiding that data, you don't learn about conversion rates, right? So conversion rates mean if a deck posts a 5-0, but someone 0-5'd with it 6 other times and they have, 6 0-5s and 1 5-0, their win rate with the deck isn't actually that good, right? And I'm not saying that's the case with this specific deck, but I'm saying in general, looking at those results and going, oh, it had a 5-0, so it'd have to be good, just like is patently not true, right? That's a Damping Sphere in your Bushwhacker deck. Yes, resolves. Maybe I'm supposed to hold that land and flashback looting here. I guess I can't bin this Fiery Temper here because of Damping Sphere, so maybe I should have just abraded that. Yeah, maybe I should have abraded the sphere. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast encourages people to hide information. Wizards of the Coast sends a very strong, clear message that they think data is evil and you should do your best to hide it. I am very pro-data, and I think it's a cop-out and it's nonsense to imply that information makes a Magic format bad. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. That's not the message people higher up at Wizards of the Coast send. That's a devastating summons. Am I getting Bushwhacker kicked? Yeah, we are. Alright, good game. Watsy hates dirty net deckers. And I know that people in chat, like, part of you are saying that as a joke, but the thing that's poisonous and rancid about Watsy's data policy is that by hiding information and taking the stance that data is bad, Wizards of the Coast and people that are making the decisions to do those things, they're empowering people who have opinions like that. When Wizards says, we're not giving you information, they're validating all of those people that like to attack people for taking decks off the internet and making data-driven decisions. By aligning their values with those people, they're validating the decisions and opinions that those people have. Man, that hand doesn't do anything. This hand also doesn't really do anything. I mean, I guess I always keep a Manamorphose, right? Because it just, like, replaces itself. The black-white deck felt really clunky and awkward. I could definitely see, like, looking at these openers that we had, why Diva ended up adding Swift Spear to the deck. I definitely, like, have been looking at a bunch of hands and feeling like I just can't do anything with this hand. Oh, actually, now I just get to go looting, bin Phoenix, cast Fiery Temper. And then I get to bring the bird back. It's a pretty good turn, too. It's kind of the same, except getting a Manamorphose in my graveyard has value because I have Bedlam Reveler in my deck, and having Manamorphose in my hand has value for returning Arclight Phoenix. So I'm pretty sure as long as you have 2 lands to cast them, you should basically always be topping Manamorphose. Start by attacking for 3 here. Oh, that's true, Bagaboosh. Casting the other Morphos is better in the event of a drawing a second bird. It gives us another chance to draw a second bird too. They drew Terminus. That's unfortunate. What a low variance game, this Magic the Gathering chat. What a wonderful skill testing low variance game. It's funny, so Brian Kibler, you know, Hearthstone professional, former Magic Pro Tour player, he posted that a player at one of the Hearthstone events that he was doing coverage at had a 90% win rate in Hearthstone events over the last 3 months, which is just like quite absurd, right? Just like the way I hear Magic players like talk down on a game like Hearthstone about like being all variants and stuff like that, it's just like, and the amount of pushback I got from players, like from my time spent playing Hearthstone, it didn't stick with me as a game. Like I didn't feel like I stayed engaged with it, but my takeaway from playing a bunch of Hearthstone definitely felt like Hearthstone has less variance than Magic. And like, I don't think we've ever had somebody that didn't end up cheating, right? That like came close to those numbers in Magic, right? Wizards of the Coast has gone out of their way in the past to punish or send cease and desist letters to third-party communities and groups that are collecting information regarding Magic the Gathering. Yeah, and you know what? It's Hearthstone, it's digital, so we know they're not cheating. Yes, the amount of, I feel like Magic players become numb to how much variance the resource system in Magic gives the game. And I don't think the resource system in Magic is bad. I think the resources in Magic is awesome, and it adds a lot of depth and complexity to the decks that you're able to play in this game, but it adds an absurd amount of variance to it. And players who aren't really familiar with Hearthstone, they pigeonhole and focus in so much on the fact that like a bunch of the Hearthstone cards have the word random written on them that they assume that like, well, this card literally has random written on it. It has to have more variance than this game that doesn't explicitly say random on the cards. It's funny, Captain Obvious. So another thing, so we've been talking about Artifact that's coming up too. Something that people have been talking about is how little variance Artifact feels like it has. And I think they said Stan Sifka, who, you know, top-aided Magic Pro Tours and was a Hearthstone professional, has been playing a ton of Artifact and talking a bunch of Artifact. He won like 3 constructed, single elimination constructed tournaments in a row, or 2 single elimination constructed tournaments in a row. And while low variance is interesting in some ways, like chess, a game that doesn't have any variance could honestly be a bad thing, right? Like, one of the interesting things about Magic is that any player has a chance in any game that you're playing, right? Yeah, chess is no variance, right? So we're gonna bin the insult to injury here. Just hopefully burn them out slowly. They're down to 6, which means I have lethal in my hand here. Really wish we could have drawn a mountain here, so I could have gone like Bolt You, Spike You, Bedlam You. I'm actually going to hang tight for a second. I don't want to play the Lava Spike now because it gives my opponent the opportunity to use a counterspell here, and I'd much rather they be obligated to use a counterspell on their end of turn, because I basically get to tie their mana up for another turn if they counterspell on their next turn rather than getting to use their mana now. There are a number of cards in Magic that create what I would describe as bad variants, and Blood Moon is definitely one of them. I think anybody arguing that Blood Moon creates quality games of Magic is some kind of disingenuous idiot that you probably should be ignoring. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and Bolt here. Gain 6 is pretty good. So what is this? What does this Bedlam cost? This Bedlam cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It cost me 2 right now. Do I go Spike Bedlam? Do I go Steamkin Spike? Or do I go Steamkin Bedlam? I could definitely see an arguments for a couple of different ways to sequence here. I really feel like I should try and cast my Bedlam Reveler while my opponent does not have Cryptic Command up here. Yeah, it feels like they have a counterspell of some sort. I think it's Steamkin Spike. I think I'm going to be conservative here. I feel like with the Runaway Steam-Kin, I could be in an okay spot. I feel like I don't want to just bin my Lava Spike here because they're at 9. It's like a third of their health total. They didn't have Snap Path to Exile at the end of their turn, which is good for us. Yeah, I agree completely, GHU. And like, as someone who's like top-8 major tournaments with Blood Moon, right? Like, I understand the card can be powerful, but like, it's reasonable to say like, it's powerful, but it's also obnoxious and miserable to play against, right? You commented on Anger. What kind of comments are you looking for, Roscoe? I think Anger is great in this deck. I think Anger doesn't kill Bedlam or Runaway Steam-Kin a lot of the time, so it's fine. Do they have the Cryptic Command? Two-color mana bases aren't greedy. Please stop and think about what you are saying before you say it. Do you see my opponent's mana base right now? Blood Moon would destroy my opponent. They wouldn't be able to cast spells. There's this idea that's perpetuated by people on coverage and other people in positions in Magic that's just like completely unintelligible of like what defines a greedy mana base. People like extend the idea of a greedy mana base to basically everything that's not all basic lands, and it's just absurdity in my mind. Do you know what really checks greedy mana bases in Modern in a fair and reasonable way? Aggro decks. Multiple 3 and 4 color decks in Modern. These are decks that have to play shock lands and tapped lands, and just having a good aggressive deck in the format punishes them because they're gonna be slow, they're gonna stumble, they're gonna take damage from their lands. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pack it in. We're pretty dead here. No, I think the format would be better off without them. I think the idea that, like, we have to have these cards that create miserable games of Magic in Modern is absurd and stupid. So I'm going to trim the rituals and be a little bit slower here. Tormenting Voice is pretty bad against counterspells. Insult Injury is kind of mediocre, so we'll trim one of those. Bring in Shrine. Bring in the last risk factor. Bring in Blood Moon because it's good against my opponent's 2-color mana base. Excuse me. That being said, I've accepted the fact that Ancient Stirrings, Faithless Looting, Blood Moon, Tron lands, these things are going to be legal in this format. We just, you know, we just slog through it, and that's okay. At some point in the future, we'll have a new format, and that new format won't have these archaic cards that were designed, you know, literally a decade ago. More than a decade ago. I put Tron lands and Blood Moon on a similar level. I think they both end up creating pretty uninteresting games of Magic the Gathering. So I'm actually gonna wait a turn to cast this other Faithless Looting, because if I find one more 1-mana red spell next turn, I can bring my Phoenix back into play. I'd start a new format at Origins. I think that's the easiest place to start it. What's Magic without Tron? Fun. Fun's a good answer. Standard's a silly, lazy answer. Like, implying that a non-rotating format has to have something miserable in it is just nonsense. Weird. Why did my opponent spend a negate on my Blood Moon? That can't possibly be good against their 2-color mana base. That's so strange, Chad. I don't get it. The original Innistrad. I don't think that's going back a little bit too far. All right, so the lightning bolt here means I can put my Phoenixes into play. So I get to do this, I get to spike them, I get to bolt them. I get to attack with my bird. Yeah, I agree. Cards that effectively end the game without literally ending the game are, like, really annoying to play against. Would I be surprised? No, not really. I really hope they don't start at Kaladesh. Because, like, they had Kaladesh coded into Arena. I think the absolute worst possible thing they could do is start from Kaladesh. I really don't want that to happen. All right, lands a good draw there. Because I get to risk factor them. They take 4, I play Bedlam Reveler and gas up. Yeah, I'd like Eldritch Evolution and whatever the new format ends up being. I'm a sucker for good tutors. I also really like the card Tireless Tracker, right? So, like, Tracker would be great. I'm okay with Kaladesh being included, so long as we, like, also get other older sweet cards. So, yeah. It's just, like, someone at WotC, the person at WotC who's tasked with watching the stream to make sure to make sure I'm not being too obnoxious. Just like, well, new format starting at Kaladesh. Hogland hates it. Cons and banning fetches. I don't know. I think that's weird. I think cons and banning fetches is strange. Well, that is certainly a handful of cards. So I have 2 risk factors in my bin currently. I don't think they're low enough. I think I need to attack the Jace here. I think that was pretty likely to happen regardless. Get my black bordered mountain in here. There's a new non-rotating format coming. We don't know when and we don't know what sets it's going to include, but one is coming. So the delve cards are a lot less obnoxious when you get rid of free ways to put cards in your discard pile. So like if fetch lands don't exist, delve cards get a lot less powerful. Getting snap dispelled or snap negated here. There's still another risk factor in my bin. Let's start by casting Looting and see where we go. It's an Arclight Phoenix and a Fiery Temper. Sign me up. Then I get to flashback this risk factor, bidding this mountain, which will bring my Phoenix back into play. So I did Looting, risk factor, Fiery Temper. Frontier was not an official format. It went down to 7. My bird comes back here. We'll see if they have another path to exile. They are going to get to gas up with this Ancestral Visions next turn. If they take the hit from this bird, we could be in an okay spot here. Okay, they're down to 4 and I have this bolt in my hand. And like, the most important thing about them going to 4 here is any risk factors we draw from here on out are draw 3 card factors. Alright, so these friends are going away, which is fine with us. I was kind of expecting that to happen. Yep. Bye-bye, birdie. Yeah. Brawl's a good example that official formats are not guaranteed to succeed either, right? Definitely a real thing. I like having lethal at instant speed. But so one of the big issues Brawl had was they announced Brawl right before a rotation, right? So like they kind of created some hype for this new format, but then it was doomed to die immediately because the format was rotating, right? I'm gonna try and kill them in response to this. I don't expect this to work, but I think it's our best shot. So I assume they're going to end up at 7 here, which sucks a little bit. Yeah, maybe we have a shot. Like, I don't know. Like, they're going to 7 health here, which means the risk factor is no longer a draw 3, which is an issue. I mean, they bounced this Blood Moon for whatever reason, so you're saying there's a chance, chat. All I need is a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Gonna risk it for the biscuit here, chat. They need a negate or a dispel here. I would like all of the manas, please. I'd like to cast another risk factor. Do you have a counter spell? Show me potato salad. Puppy! That's tasty, chat. That is truly delicious. Just a truly delectable delight. Truly delectable. Like, maybe I was supposed to do that pre-combat so I could jam the Arclight Phoenix. You can see that being a thing. We have our Shrine of Burning Rage here. Modern staple Shrine of Burning Rage. What's going on, Fuzzy Apple Core? Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate that. I don't understand, chat. They've been sculpting our mind for like 5 turns now. How could we possibly win? We could never beat Jace the Mind Sculptor. He's ruining Modern. We don't have a chance, chat. We don't have a chance. Did you draw the good Planeswalker? If they drew the good Planeswalker, we could maybe be in trouble here. Bane Slayer Angel. Bane Slayer Angel. That is quite the cookie. Imagine what our opponent could do with Stoneforge, right, Blackwell? Thanks for the biddies. Do you think that I can't cast any spells this turn? Is that really what you're hoping for over there, opponent? Trigger my Steamkin and my Shrine. If they cast Cryptic Commands here, they're dead. Because we get to cast Insult to Injury and kill them. So they need, I guess they need, if they have a Path to Exile, they could get us here. Oh, I could have also replayed the Shrine, right? Although that loses to Spell Snare, which could be a card that's reasonably in their deck. Yeah, there's a good chance they don't have a third basic planes in their deck, too. For you. Oh, yeah, just the... I always feel so dirty when I grind out a Jace the Mind Sculptor like that. Just like, this is wrong. Why did you lose the game, opponent? Like, I feel like they need to, like, go back and really evaluate their life, and, like, they're losing a game like that. What do we think? Are these Blood Moons worthwhile on the draw? I feel like these Blood Moons aren't worthwhile on the draw. What do we think? Is Tormenting Voice too dangerous to bring in? I think I'm going to bring in the Tormenting Voice. I feel like I'm going to have windows where the voice is fine, and when it's not fine, I can just, like, bin it to a Risk Factor or a Faithless Looting. This hand just doesn't do anything, right? I guess it's got Faithless Looting in it. Like, it bins the insulting. Yeah, it's got Faithless Looting with a free discard. I guess I'll keep it. And if we hit, like, a bird, we have triple bolt on 3 to bring the bird back. And we're on the draw, right? Opponent mulligan to 6. Got a Shrine of Burning Rage. Everything's coming up, Millhouse chat. Oh no! Oh no! Alright, hard mode, I guess. It's fine. I like a challenge, don't you? Don't you like a challenge, chat? New goal. Kill them with Shrine of Burning Rage before Teferi resolves. Uncastable? We got to 8 lands last game. Don't you tell me anything's uncastable. Anything's castable with the right attitude, chat. Yeah, you can still madness. You can still madness Fiery Temper under Rest in Peace. Am I bolting the Snapcaster Mage? I don't think so, right? I think it's just like double upstairs here. What do we think about double upstairs? Just like what this game is about, faces the place, right? Just smork. Smork! Which spell? Alright, give me a land. Give me a land so I can Tormenting Voice's Fiery Temper. Afternoon, Maddie. Alright, I'm gonna concede if they Teferi me next turn, because I'm not winning if the Shrine doesn't get to do work. We're not gonna be able to outgrind Rip plus Teferi. That is a Shrine of Burning Rage. Modern staple, Shrine of Burning Rage. It wouldn't be too surprised to see like a counter bounce here sometime soon. All right. When the dream team shows up, it's okay. It's okay to pack it. There's no shame in conceding to the dream team, chat. How we doing? Welcome, everyone's afternoon's going a little bit better than ours. Getting beat up a little bit today playing Modern. Currently playing some Mono Red Steam-Kin meme. If you're enjoying yourself, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the people that keep me employed here full time. I love doing what I do here, but I wouldn't be able to be here day in and day out if there wasn't the support of my very wonderful subs. Past subscribing, you can support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com. Love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll be able to save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com. Buy and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, Warhammer, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. BCWSupplies.com. I love to help you protect your very valuable Magic the Gathering cards and other gaming stuff with their great accessories. They do sleeves, deck boxes, and more. And of course, Lisa would like to get you on your way to a better night's sleep. Christy and I have been sleeping with Lisa for the last 4 months now, and I really love it. I don't think we'd ever go back to a traditional pillow top mattress. You can save $160 or more on your new foam mattress with them by checking out links bit.ly/HugoBedUS and bit.ly/HugoBedCA. Head on into our third match here, see if we can run this 0-2 start back into a 3-2 finish. America, while I was chillin', said, I wanted to drop in and thank you for the great content you produce, specifically for Green Black Rock. I used to play Magic every week as a stress reliever for anxiety issues, and I recently started a job with a rough work schedule, which has taken the chance away to play. So the gameplay you put up is absolutely amazing. Awesome, America. I appreciate the support, and I'm glad you're enjoying this stuff. Yeah, this is fine, right? Not amazing, but fine. Like, Faithless Looting probably finds us another one. They may be Giants. Thank you for the biddies. Opponent's mulligan to 5. Dredge or Tron, most likely. Dredge and Tron are the two decks. When your opponent mulligans to 5, they're playing Dredge, Tron, Bogles, or they're exceedingly unlucky. Those are your 4 options in Modern. Let's see what we've got going on here. Been the bird. Been a Faithless Looting here? It's possible I should hold the looting to enable bringing the bird back down the line, but I've got like double Steamkin, so I should have plenty of mana. Yeah, Diva streamed with this deck a couple of times, I believe. Perfect. So they're looting anyways. I used to budget $200 a month for Magic. Now I budget $100 for Jeff. If you don't think about it too hard, Jeff is saving me money. Oh, Beetle. I remember when I said they were playing Tron? I think I'm supposed to looting here and try and find another 1-mana spell and get aggressive this turn. Or Fiery Temper. Man, that's rough. I think I'm just going to Tormenting Voice this Bolt here, even though it doesn't bring back the Phoenix, because I want to be able to fill my graveyard up to Bedlam Reveler next turn. Like what? You want to fix the Rest in Peace problem, basically? Is that the theory behind that, Bagaboosh? Like what's the basis? What problem are we solving by splashing where it turns Stony Silence? Captain Jamoke with the 400 biddies. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I think the actual answer is that, like, we're just gonna die here. They have any sort of reasonable follow-up. Their hand is close to doing normal Tron things. We're just dead to rights. Wow, do they not have a threat yet? That's so good for us. Demonic Shooter found them Urza's Tower, so they probably have a 10 mana threat. They have Walking Ballista, maybe. I think that gosh, we've just been doing nothing but getting beat up in Modern the last couple of days. Saturday was rough too. And this, so like, the issue that we have here is a lot of the same issue that I had with the repeater deck, which is like, while this deck is doing something really powerful when it gets to do its thing, this deck is leaning on its graveyard as a resource, right? And there are so many busted decks in Modern that are trying to lean on their graveyard as a resource that this deck randomly gets hosed by cards that people are playing anyways, not to hose your deck, but trying to hose other things, right? I don't even think it has anything to do with the comeback of Dredge. I think there's always a reasonable amount of graveyard hate in Modern. Like, there's almost always something that's trying to abuse its graveyard to generate card advantage or to do something busted in the format. The 4-color Geist deck plays basic lands, and basic planes is the most important basic to have access to, because basic planes let you cast cards that destroy Blood Moon. So you want your fetches in the 4-color Geist deck to give you as much access to basic planes as possible, to give you the best possible chance to play through an opposing copy of Blood Moon. Fortunately, we're going to be one away from getting to make mana with this. Well, I mean, they get to put a Worm Coil into play next turn that we could probably never beat. Yeah, I forgot we talked about that. Destructive Revelry could be okay. That was kind of brutal. Nah, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter what time of day we get beat up. Getting beat up sucks.